Okay. We will call the meeting to order of the trustees of trust funds for March 15, 2023. And in your materials were the minutes of our last meeting on February 15. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Just a small question. At the end, when it says I had requested something more in-depth from PD,
Yeah,
I don't know, just so I don't, maybe we could look at the wording of that, something more consistent with the quarterly reporting that we receive,
Okay.
or that we have received. We've only received one of them, right?
So they've been in visiting us twice, right?
yeah.
So,
The first time it didn't have the they didn't have the account long enough to give us the quarterly report, if I recall right.
okay, that could be.
That's fine, Dana.
All right, we'll accept that as a motion to amend or correct the minutes.
Thank you.
Would you second that?
I will.
All right. Any other comments or changes, Dana?
No, I'm fine. I'll move approval, so I think we have a second, so I vote yes.
Okay. And Peter?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right. So the Mortimer Trust, you recall the last time we were here, we had received a memo from Kathleen Dwyer together with two checks totaling about $911,000, and we needed some clarification on the funds. We've received those letters from the trust, from Mr. Mortimer's trust attorney, Anthony Hartnett, which I think clarifies the issue. So we accepted them subject to that documentation. I think we should formally accept them at this point.
So moved.
Do you hear a second, Dana?
I'll second, but can you, I read through that, can you remind me again what our issue was?
Well, it was an issue I brought up, Dana, to make sure that Mr. Mortimer's intent was followed through. And we really had nothing. So with the reason to ask for the attorney to lay it out. And now in reviewing the trust, Tom and I were talking beforehand, I'm going to volunteer to meet with Susan because the trust documents that are in effect, one of them, the most you can give out is $1,000. And with $500,000 now in the trust, that's not following Bill's wishes. So we have to see what we can do to make sure, as long as we're splitting that $900,000 into both trusts, what we do so that we aren't limited to giving out $1,000 a year.
Okay, I see.
But so to answer your question about last meeting, my own opinion is that I think we were sort of conflating the situation we had with the Tommy McCann scholarships, where there were no trust documents, in which case we needed documentation from the estate attorney on what the actual, we had to get a copy of his will to determine what his intent was, because, particularly with that one where he created this, it's not a scholarship fund as much as it is an accessibility fund. Once I got copies of the trust documents, and together with the letters from Kathleen's office that Attorney Hartnett had sent to her in December and February, it was clear to me that his intent was to give this money and divide it between the two existing trusts. the issue that Peter brought up, which we discussed just before the meeting started, is really it's a potential issue of trying to cure a provision in the 2006 trust. So I don't think that has anything to do with accepting the money.
Right. Okay, I get it. So the issue, Peter, is because there's a significant amount of funds, if we want to give away more, we want to see if that opportunity exists.
How we could go about being able to do that.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm good, thank you.
Okay, then we'll call the question on the motion to accept the funds. Peter?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes,
And the chair votes yes. Yeah, if you have a chance later, Dana, if you just compare the trust documents, I think what happened is when Bill established the 2006 trust, he probably wasn't envisioning he was going to endow it with the
Right.
kind of money that he did. And I suspect that the reason he started the second one was to cure the issues with the first one. But I don't think anybody thought that money would add up to close to $500,000. So it'll be interesting. The city and the school board may want to take that on to cure that, but that would have to go through a non-judicial agreement, that type of thing. Okay. African Berry.
Do you want to sign the letters? You
Oh, yeah,
have two
okay.
letters to sign?
Yeah. No, there's actually only going to do one, the one that has the CC to the daughter.
Okay.
The reason I wanted you to do two is because I was trying to get his daughters.
This one. Dana had asked me to sign on his behalf. Do you want me to
Right.
do that? Is that okay, or?
That's still okay with you, Dana?
yeah, yes, that's fine.
Yep.
Quite a gift,
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
and that's why I really appreciate you going out and writing that letter to the council.
It is kind of odd that, you watch city council meetings and you see where they accept donations of, $50 for some park or something, and then meanwhile, we're bringing in these significant estate monies that never see the light of day.
Right.
Anything else on that one, Judy?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So the African Burial Ground, we're getting some more money, some of that money back?
Some of the money back. They had initially requested, I believe it was around $10,000, according to the PO, $10,450 they had requested from the trust. The African Burial Ground Committee and the city had requested that money. The trustees had agreed to that and had given them the money, and it was for the DNA testing, sequencing.
Right.
They only ended up spending $2,946 of it, so they would like to give it back to the trust. So before, I didn't want to deposit it without getting your approval on accepting that money back.
No, I guess I'll entertain a motion
So
to return. Second, Dana?
I'll second. Question, what's the balance in that trust once this comes back, give or take?
Probably around, I want to say around 60, but,
Okay.
yep.
And that money's still to be used for maintenance or those types of issues with the park?
Correct,
Right.
right.
All right. All in favor? Peter?
aye.
Dana?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So in your materials is the final version of the policy statement. You'll recall, this is on scholarships. That when we were here last time, you had requested some changes. I don't have my red line version, but I believe that we took out the language relating to the number of schools and the Portsmouth school system.
Right.
We took out the language discussing it being limited to New Hampshire post-secondary schools. That still exists in the community trust documents, community scholarship documents, which that's why we're asking Susan Morrell to address that. But for purposes of this, it didn't need to be in there. So, and then there were a couple grammatical issues. So this is now posted on the city's website. And do you have any questions about it, or? Okay. All right. I don't think we need to vote it again, so. All right. PD.
Do you need copies of anything, Peter? Do you need copies of anything, or are you all set?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you have this one on the larger paper? So I can
Yes,
read it?
I do. Do you have that as well, Peter, or are you good?
Well, I guess I'll take a larger paper too. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have this one? This now? It's just the history to date.
Yeah.
Might be easier on this.
And you get it to come out with larger print than my print.
Are you looking at the TD document or Judy's?
We're looking at Judy's right now.
Do I have that, Judy?
Yep, I sent it to you. It was in the email with all the other docs
Okay.
last week.
Very good.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Are we confirmed with them for next month?
I think Tom had a question on that.
Well, so Dana, you're not going to be here in April, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So, so let's talk about whether you want them to be here when you're here in May, or you want to go forward in April.
Well, I'm fine either way. I think it's whatever works for the two of you. I mean, I think I would prefer to be there myself personally, but I don't want to
Yeah, I hate to change.
disrupt the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now we have them coming in April and
That's
in
correct.
October, so.
The issue of April, the timing of the meeting has to be such that you get the first quarter complete, and I'm not sure they'll have it done
What's the
early
date?
enough. Depends when the meeting is.
The meeting is, well, the meeting is on the 9th.
No sense having them come in
19th.
April unless they have a full quarterly
It's-
review.
The 19th.
Yeah. Do they get their reports out by then, or?
Yeah.
And I have no idea.
Well, we always get them before that.
Yeah.
If that's the case, do it on the 26th if that's a problem.
Well, how much flexibility do you have? What I'm going to suggest is that we keep the meeting on the 19th. If they tell us they can't have the materials, then we can shift to the 26th. But can we do that, a week ahead, or is that
Oh, I can.
okay with you, Dana?
Hold on.
I can also, when I go, I usually confirm with them a month out, so I'll confirm, they're already slated to come. I can confirm with them that we'll need the quarterly. I think they know that when they come in, that they
I
need
would-
the
I would
quarterly
hope so.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do the 26th.
All right,
if
can you-
need be.
All right, can you just put a hold in your calendar for that morning, and let's assume we're going to go forward on the 19th.
Okay.
Okay.
And then,
I'll check.
okay. You know, you might even want to give them a sort of a heads up that we're going to want
Quarterly.
quarterly reports, not something that's based on end of year.
Yeah. Okay.
So while we're on this, Dana, your email had suggested that what we should be asking them is for reports consistent with their quarterly presentation reports that they make when they come in twice a year.
Yeah, the monthly report that they've given us is really nothing more than, you know, what we're getting from Judy. So my interest was in performance, quarter to date, year to date, comparison to benchmark. Any report we get from them should, in my view, should include that information.
Okay. So I was looking at that, and the report they gave us back in April, and you had mentioned page 4, so page 4 deals with the scholarship funds, but if it's page 4, 11, 18, and 25, that covers each of the separate funds. And
Right.
and so that essentially, that gives us a comparison to the benchmarks. But it's not giving you a year-to-date figure, which I thought you wanted.
Yeah, that's true. But that's true.
Maybe that's something they can add to it. I don't know how flexible it doesn't sound, I don't know about their reporting, so.
They don't realize we're the client?
I think what they did last time is, or have been doing for the last couple of months, is essentially just get somebody to do what you normally do.
That one report, that monthly dashboard that I forward to you,
Yeah,
yes.
the
I mean,
pie
that
chart one, yeah.
is exactly, I mean, it is my report.
Yeah,
It looks
well, that's what I'm
exactly
saying,
my
so.
report, yeah. Which is fine.
And that report, my issue with that report, it's good, but it just gives us the total dollar, you know, beginning balance and ending balance.
Understood, yep.
And it doesn't give us what the investment performance was.
Yep.
So,
At the end of the day, that's what, either quarter, maybe we just have to accept we're only going to get it quarterly on investment performance, and maybe that's okay. I guess we'd have to make sure it's okay with everyone, with the two of you.
all right, so, well, right now, we're only getting it twice a year, right?
Correct.
We
When
only
they,
get this-
when they come in.
I would think we're going to get it quarterly,
They've
every
only-
quarter, or we can certainly request it, because they've given it to us at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but they've only given it to us when they've come in, so all right. So just to make sure, and I might call Suzanne on this, just to walk them through this exercise again. What we would like is month to date, if we can get it, and year to date with the whole numbers plus the performance and the comparison to the benchmark.
Correct.
Is that,
Yeah.
anything else that you'd want to see? Okay, all right. I will,
Tom, the only thing I would say, a little twist to what you said. You said month to date, year to date.
right,
It month to date is, I mean, they're gonna do it at the end of a given month. So it's not necessarily month to date. No
Oh, I'm
need
sorry,
to-
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, quarter to date,
And year-to-date.
yeah.
Yeah, we definitely want the year-to-date, but we want the month numbers as well,
Right.
right? Month to date is the wrong terminology, but I think we want the monthly performance and then at least the annual performance. If we can get the quarterly, that's fine. But and we need to have a comparison to the benchmark, so we, you know,
Yes.
we're comparing. Yep. All right. I'll call Suzanne. If you could reach, Judy, if you could reach out to John just to tell him, you know, we're still on for the 19th.
Yep.
We just want to make sure we're going to have the first quarter numbers.
Yes.
That's,
And I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but just so you'll know what I'm trying to get at. If you look at Judy's report on the first page, she has month-to-month performance, and at the bottom of the first chart, she says February to February average percent increase decrease.
Yeah.
I think it says minus 8.87.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a good number to know, but that isn't the investment performance.
If you look, Dana, if you look at the other sheet that I sent, the month-to-month performance, TD Wealth since inception,
Yeah,
the inception, that's 8.54%. So that's what you're looking at for them, I think, if I'm understanding correctly. You're looking at the overall performance since inception date, as well as the month-to-month is obviously important as well.
well, I guess what I'm getting at is just the beginning balance and ending balance.
Okay.
It doesn't, and calculating the difference isn't performance because it doesn't take into account additions, withdrawals. And what I want to know is the underlying investments that they have our funds in, what is the performance?
Understood.
yeah, because otherwise it's going to look like we did real well with the Mortimer money coming in this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, that's a better way of saying it, Tom. Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's why, Judy, the column on the right, additions and subtractions are important too.
So that you know what's
That's
coming
not
out.
growth.
Right, that's additional.
That's not investment growth.
Correct. Correct.
Right. You know, the inception to date doesn't mean that much to me until we come around for, doing a new RFP, in which case it's going to make all the difference in the world. But I'm more interested in seeing where the trends are in the year.
Understood.
Okay, any other comments, questions on Judy's?
Oh,
Okay. All right, so, do we have any checks to sign?
We have one scholarship check. This. And we also received a donation in for $500 to the Futures account. So if it's okay with everyone, I'll go ahead and accept that. that money.
So this is a donation to the administrative teachers account, or is it going into the futures account with all the scholarship money?
It must be going, well, there's only one account.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
only have one account.
Right, it was sent by the superintendent,
Oh, okay.
asking us to deposit it.
Right.
So I just wanted to make you aware that we received $500 that will be going into that fund.
Okay.
And where did it come from, Judy?
Well, Janelle and Michael Pabian, Pabian.
So,
Is it their check that they wrote, or is it a school department check?
The check comes from a Morgan Stanley account, so I'm assuming it comes from them.
Yeah, okay.
well, you know,
It's I'm sorry, it's in honor of Liz Nickerson. So I don't know if that's a student or a,
okay. Well, I just question whether we're supposed to be the intended recipient of
Yeah.
this. Because it sounds like they want it to go into the actual scholarships, and that's the money that's managed by New Hampshire Church.
Oh, we have,
we issue scholarships out of our fund as well. They send,
that's the
they
one that
send me,
I've been
they send
trying
me
to figure out.
requests.
Okay, all right. That's
They
separate
do.
from this one that the board has.
I don't know.
to
You
vote.
know,
All the monies-
there's an administrative fund
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
that goes to pay the director.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not for that fund?
No.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll take it if
Yeah.
it's intended to be for us. Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right. Any new business?
Judy, this is an odd amount.
Well, it is, but that's how the high school divided it up. So,
Okay.
yeah.
They're usually in even dollars.
Yeah, they are, but for some reason, the community scholarships, they divided them up that way between
Okay.
all the students that got it on that particular scholarship.
All right.
It is weird.
Any new business?
Any public comment?
Well, I'm going to get to public
Oh.
comment. That's not new business. There might be somebody behind me I can't see because I'm facing Dana now. All right.
Remind me again how much about we're giving away, we agreed on the scholarships, 200-something thousand?
Yeah, I want to say it's around 220, but I
220.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah.
We get that on the record, Tom, just to remind people how significant the scholarships are that are given out in the community.
Well, and Dana, next year, that'll change next year because of the 900,000 that just came in.
Yes, yeah.
At least for half of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, okay. Nobody from the public here, so unless somebody has some new business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Okay, second, Dana?
Second, thank you.
Are you on to your tennis court?